Helix, you've heard us brag about them because we love them. I was driving to the grocery store yesterday. I saw a mattress store and I was like, who possibly would want to go waste their incredible weekend by going into a mattress store? Well, I don't know why you would, and you don't have to. Thanks to Helix, all you have to do is go to helixsleep.com. They have a lineup of 20 unique mattresses for all kinds of sleepers. Doesn't matter if you sleep hot, cold, on your side, on your back. For the kids, big and tall sleepers, it doesn't matter. They have a mattress that's perfect for you. We've been sleeping on Helix mattress for over 5 years now.
We have Helix mattresses in all of our guest bedrooms, so all of our guests who come to stay with us are sleeping on Helix mattresses. I've never slept deeper. I've never slept longer, and I accredit it all to Helix.
To get a Helix mattress that's right for you, just go to helixsleep.com, answer a few questions, and take their online sleep quiz, and they will pair you a mattress that's perfect for you. Plus, if you are not absolutely obsessed with it, after 100 nights, you get to send it back for a full refund. That's right, you get a 100-night sleep trial on it, and all their mattresses come with a 10 to 15-year warranty depending on the mattress that you choose. It's recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as the go-to solution for improving your sleep.
For their 4th of July sale, best of web offer, go to helixsleep.com/VIALL for 27% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/VIALL for 27% off site-wide. helixsleep.com/VIALL.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I'm your host, Nick. Hope you enjoyed your time off. I know we enjoyed ours. Hope you had a nice 4th of July weekend. We had a great time. We went to Florida.
We went to Florida. We went to go visit our favorites, Tyler and Tate, Tyler Cameron, Tate Madden. We went and stayed in their gorgeous house that they have been like nonstop renovating.
Well, since we are redoing the lake, it was definitely sad not to be up at the lake for 4th of July. That broke my heart. The next best thing was to hang out with our friends. We all have, I mean, it was a great thing, but also like Florida, I've never been to the ocean for 4th of July. I'm always like a lake boy, you know?
It was in River. It was the first time River's been on a beach. It was so cute.
What did she think? Like, what was her reaction?
She
to the
loved
waves?
it. Well, we have like at the park by our house, there's like a sand pit. So she's used to sand. Like she loves sand.
Mm-hmm.
So she like loved playing in the sand. And then she walked down to the water with Nick and thought like the waves were so fun and so cool. And then Tyler had gone to like the store to get some snacks and stuff and came back with like a bunch of beach toys and like a beach floaty and like a bunch of stuff for River. So then she got to like float in the water with Nick, and it was really cute. She loved it.
Tyler was giving uncle for sure. We got some cute photos.
Yeah.
And then I did one of the famous Tyler Cameron workouts in his garage.
Nice.
How did that go?
It went great. Like I've been really working, like the past few weeks I've been trying to work out more. My legs currently are hurting really bad.
River woke up in the middle of the night last night, and Nick was like, I can't go.
I can't go. You gotta go.
He's like, I can't
like
do
walking
the
down the
stairs.
steps right now.
Can't squat to the crib.
I'm like holding onto the rail, trying not to like tumble down the steps. My quads hurt so bad, but it's a good pain. Tate took some of the classic Tyler Cameron workout videos.
I don't know if everyone knows that she's the mastermind behind these videos.
She's the mastermind behind all really
All
enjoyable
those, like,
Tyler Cameron.
I remember. I
videos.
feel like it went viral, that one of him like work. It might have been like his first one working out, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, his dick! You can see it." And everyone was like freaking out. Like I remember it went everywhere, and then the whole time it's like his girlfriend filming. Like
love.
she's like, "Let me just put my hand stick out there."
That is love.
That is low. Did you guys get rained out in Florida for the 4th?
It rained a lot. It rained a bit.
It rained a bit, yeah. But it honestly, it looked worse when we were going. It was like, oh my god, it's gonna rain the whole time we're there. And then, as Florida does, you know, it turned a corner and gave us a beautiful beach day.
Yeah.
So,
What part of
we
Florida were
loved
you
it.
in, Mary?
I was in Vero Beach and Sarasota because my family lives in Vero Beach and my sister and the rest of my family is in Sarasota. So we were going back and forth,
Okay.
but it was raining both times.
Did you guys watch any hot dog eating contests?
No.
No, but we did hear
Honestly,
that Joey Chestnut.
Joey
It's-
Chestnut.
That's
came
a
back.
hard watch for me.
He
I was
ate
watching the
70 hot dogs.
women's, like a clip of her and the gagging, like shoving the hot dog in, and then she like covered her mouth to gag it all, and then just
Oh.
chugs water. And I'm thinking like a soggy, wet hot dog in your mouth. Disgusting. So
They're like dunking the bun in the water
It's
to
so
make it
bad.
so small that they can.
How did
So
that
I
start?
was
Like,
telling you, I was
what's
like-
the origins of the food eating, hot dog eating contest?
A psycho. Probably. Nothing good.
I just don't understand. Tyler and I were talking about this. Like, I as two good eaters, like we can eat a lot, but what's the point? Like, it's the timed part, I think it's fun to like see how much you can eat of one thing, but like you're not enjoying it by
Yeah.
like having to do it in a limited amount of time, then you're just literally gagging it down.
Yeah, is it even eating at that
No.
point?
you're just swallowing.
Exactly.
Like if you were enjoying
so-
every delicious hot dog, because
Exactly.
God knows I love a hot dog, but
Mhm.
like
once or
you're not
twice
putting
a
any
year.
condiments
Hot
on
dog.
it, no mustard, no relish. You're
Yeah.
just literally
is-
choking down the dog, and then
Can we find the origin of the hot dog eating contest?
Legend has it
Legend has it.
that on July 4th, 1916, 4 immigrants gathered at the very first Nathan's Famous hot dog stand in Coney Island and made eating contest history. As the story goes, they were competing to see who was the most patriotic. How did they determine the winner? With a hot dog eating contest, of course.
Yeah, that tracks.
What screams?
How do you
This sounds
show
made
your
up.
love
I'm
for
like-
your country more than
Country.
shoving a bunch of hot dog
Inhaling
wieners down your
a
throat?
bunch of wieners down your throat?
babe,
Yeah.
how many
Off.
hot dogs do you think you could?
Like maybe 3 on a good day. I don't know. No
I
harder
think
than that.
I want to know how like many hot dogs people genuinely could just eat though. I'm with you, Nick. I want to just see them like normally eat hot dogs.
Like if I have
I
24
could do 10,
hours
I
and
bet.
it's breakfast, lunch,
In a
and
row?
dinner.
Mhm.
Yeah, if I had a good hunger, yeah, like a normal
Yeah.
Nathan's hot dog with a bun, no
Oh,
chips, I bet
man.
I could rip 10.
How do you eat a hot dog? What are your ideal condiments?
Onion, dill, relish, and mustard.
I just like a pickle and mustard.
I like it plain.
Mustard, ketchup, dip it in ranch with a little bit of dill
That's
relish.
Ranch.
Ooh, okay.
Well, we have a great show lined up for you. Gia Giudice is here to talk about her time on Next Gen and following in her mom's footsteps. Obviously, we have a lot to get into regarding Love Island. There's 4 episodes that we haven't covered. I mean, it just feels like so much has happened since
So much.
last week. I
Mhm.
mean,
we have a lot to get off our chest.
It's crazy. I mean, it's like a whole different
Yeah.
show. I mean, and then movie night. We haven't even mentioned the word hideaway, like where like one couple has like an overnight date. It's just like, it's so much to unpack. A lot of people are gone, lots to get into. Bachelor in Paradise premiered last night as well. We'll get into all of it after we talk to Gia. We'll get into all of that later this episode.
Well, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives reunion came out on July 1st on Hulu with yours truly,
Me hosting.
Nick hosting.
Incredible
I just want to say big shout out to all the
Yay.
people who reached
Yay.
out. I know that when it comes to hosting reunions, the host is under a microscope, let's just say.
Yep.
There's only one Andy Cohen. And if you're not Andy Cohen, other reunions that have been hosted by other people have been received with much scrutiny.
Yeah.
Scrutiny?
But I think that's what made you so good
Mhm.
at it. I think you've built a rapport with all of these women. You've been
Mhm.
around them so much. We've interviewed them a ton. I mean, Whitney aside, but you've also like chatted and talked to Whitney at several events we've been to. So you've really like gotten to know these women. And I felt like while you asked the questions that the world wants to know, you also like when asked your opinion on certain topics, you gave your honest opinion.
Yeah.
And like, I think,
Mhm.
That is
with the
true.
whole like Whitney conversation, she was like, why do you keep coming at me? Like she asked you, like, do you think I hold accountability? And you're like, I'll be honest with you, like, no.
Yeah, I try to take the approach, we're fans. Like we are upfront that we are fans of the show. And also as the host, I tried to have that balance between obviously being host and being objective and, making sure everything was addressed, but also like asking the questions, that the fans want. I was pleasantly surprised and very much appreciative of all the people who reached out.
I mean, it was also, and like for the people who didn't watch it, like definitely need to go and watch it. But it was a heavy
Yeah.
reunion, like a lot of the cast were very open and vulnerable and brave and talked about things that, you know, they probably never have this publicly. And you handled each of those conversations with such grace and allowed them like such a safe environment to share their stories. And I think that's a really hard thing to do, especially one after the other. I mean, like so many of them were so brave. And so I feel like you need to pat yourself on the back for just handling those with such great
very sweet. Yeah, it's definitely tough transitioning from heavy to light, from heavy to light. You know, I know like we obviously went into it wanting to hear more from Jessie specifically about her relationship with Jordan, but that was obviously clearly a big part of season 3. And so obviously we don't want to spoil anything that's going to come up in season 3. What did you all make of the me of it all with the receipts that both Jessie and Jen brought to the reunion?
I mean, watching the season, it was very hard for me in general to be team Demi. In general, the whole time I really have been wanting to give her the benefit of the doubt, but as the receipts keep coming, it's hard to hear her like actively try to put words in people's mouths was just like, whoa. But also like for Jen and Zach to just like know to hit record though too. Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Utah is, I believe, one of the few states, if not the only state, that it's legal to record a conversation without the other person knowing. In most states, it's actually illegal to do it. But since they were in Utah when this conversation happened, that's why they were legally allowed to record it and air it.
My biggest takeaway from the Demi stuff, which I don't know if this is just me because I work here, was the vignette they used for the studio.
Why?
It kind of distracted me, I'm going to be honest. Because I was
we were in a rock club.
I was like, why is it black and white? There's like a little like glow over it. And I was like, that's not what that studio looks like.
They put like an effect on it.
Yeah. It was like
because it was like flashback or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of giving like recorded in, you know,
at
a different time or things like that.
I don't know. I was just like, it's a really nice green for them to just sepia tone.
I've said this before, is if you thought season 2 was wild and full of drama, it's my understanding, which I haven't seen yet, that season 3 blows it out of the water. And I'm highly anticipated. I think we're going to learn a lot about Jordan and Jessie's relationship. I think that's, you know, obviously more with Dakota and Taylor, you know, what's going on there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
As Natalie mentioned earlier, it got a little heated between you and Whitney. I want to know, like, what's going on with you guys?
Yeah, and follow up.
Did you make up? How
did you feel about Whitney calling Michaela, your favorite word, a bully?
I wanted Michaela to acknowledge that she clearly cares about Whitney, you know, because I think Michaela very much gives the, like, I don't care about her, I'm done with her. And regardless of whatever you think of the videos that Michaela makes, she clearly is emotionally invested in that relationship because otherwise she wouldn't make those videos. But yeah, I was a bit surprised when Whitney did not like my line of questioning. I just, you know, again, when it comes to the past 2 seasons, I think the perceived lack of accountability of Whitney is something that I wanted to have a chance to address with her. But, you know, I think Whitney, again, is one of my favorite characters. And other than I think Taylor's probably one of the most irreplaceable people on the cast. She's one of my favorites, but, you know.
Different question, but something that has not left my mind since watching the reunion. So correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm taking away from Michaela's coffee enemas at the reunion is that Mormons are allowed to inject coffee into their butthole, but not through their mouths.
Yeah, that was my same confusion as well.
Yeah.
Also, they're allowed to inject
the whole
soda, which is caffeinated.
Yeah, I feel there wasn't a good answer from the girls on that because I feel the Mormon Church does not have a good stance on that either. I think they're.
But it just seems like the Bible wasn't written, you know, when soda was made, but maybe it was in coffee.
I did enjoy that you made a Dumb and Dumber reference during the reunion that got left in, and I want to know if you think that the cast caught it.
Are you saying there's a chance?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the guys did.
Yeah.
I don't know if the women knew it was a Dumb and Dumber.
Taylor
reference.
Frankie Paul didn't look like she caught it. I was just wondering what your thoughts were.
What do you guys make of Jen Affleck and Whitney being a part of the next Dancing with the Stars cast?
I'm
That's
excited.
exciting. And I do think that both of them are going to go far.
Did y'all see the video of her dancing like moments after she gave birth? Because that was nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just
What,
want
Jen
to
dancing?
rewind back to what I was doing moments after giving birth. I still couldn't feel my legs from the epidural. Also, my pelvic floor has still not recovered enough to dance like that.
No, I was also like eating Jimmy John's in the bed. I was definitely not dancing, but I also did not have to prepare for Dancing with the Stars.
Was that not normal? Yeah, she was really moving.
She was really moving, and I was in pain watching her. So
Yeah,
'cause
I remember seeing
would-
that, thinking like you were not quite that agile.
I coughed and I was in pain or sneezed. God forbid I sneezed.
Well, she started giving birth at the salon. What would be your nightmare
No,
place?
She
She
her
went into
contraction
labor.
started at the nail, getting her nails done.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. What would be your
Mhm.
nightmare place
what would be your nightmare
to
place
go into
to
labor?
have your water break? Or
Probably like in traffic, like in my car.
Oh, man.
Like stuck in like bumper
Yeah,
to bumper.
car birth
traffic.
videos are terrifying.
Terrifying.
I was really worried that I would my water would break here on that desk, and so I put a towel down in the last couple of weeks.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Never knew.
I wonder if obviously I got induced for River. I would love to have the rush of, oh my God, my water just broke feeling for a future
Mhm.
baby.
Well, it was shocking to me because it wasn't what I expected it to be. It happened and then it just doesn't end. It's not just oh, my water broke. It's then the baby still doesn't come for hours and hours and hours and hours and
Yeah.
hours.
I was 3 months early.
Whoa.
And yeah. And when my mom's water broke with me, she was watching it was because she was laughing really hard at a Jay Leno monologue on the Tonight Show. And then she thought she peed her pants.
I thought I peed
Yeah.
also.
And then she was it was 4 months at that time early. And then she freaked out and she was in the hospital for a month.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I was 3 pounds when I was born. Anyway, yeah, they used to give me baby clothes, baby doll clothes instead of
Oh,
real clothes. And then I would put my little clothes on my dolls when I was a kid.
that's
so
so
cute.
sweet.
That's so cute.
Mhm.
All right. Well, it's time for Gia. She is again following in her mom's footsteps. And I think one of the people carrying this show. I really am enjoying the whole Bravo nepotism versus the new
New
the
York
other
trust
kids.
fund babies.
The trust fund babies. Is that what we're calling them? I don't know. It's the season is starting to warm up. I'm finally kind of getting into it. I
love
know,
it.
Mary, you've been into it from the get. Well, we have Gia to break it all down with us. She is up next. And following Gia, we'll finally get into some Bachelor in Paradise and Love Island. All right, let's bring up Gia. Turn the chaos of order fulfillment into something that feels like magic, helping e-commerce businesses ship faster, smarter, and more affordably. With powerful automation, real-time integration, and unbeatable shipping discounts, they make it easy to scale your business and deliver a seamless experience from checkout to doorstep. We use ShipStation here at NV Media. We've been using them for a long, long time, and they just make life easier. If you are, it doesn't matter the size of your company, if you have any type of e-commerce business, you have to have ShipStation. Get more insight into your customers' information, your orders, your shipments, and more importantly, save on shipping.
It's the fastest, most affordable way to ship products to your customers with discounts up to 88% off UPS, DHL Express, and USPS rates, and up to 90% off FedEx rates. Seamlessly integrate with services and selling channels you already use and manage orders on one easy dashboard. Over 130,000 companies have grown their e-commerce business with ShipStation, and 98% of companies that stick with ShipStation for a year become customers for life.
During the time of this spot, another 1,400 packages were shipped with the help of ShipStation. Upgrade to a smoother shipping experience. Go to shipstation.com/VIALL files. That's shipstation.com/Viall files to sign up for your free trial today. No credit card or contract required, and you can cancel anytime. That's shipstation.com/Viall files. Well, obviously, one of the most meaningful things I get to do on the show is hear people's stories about their relationships and problems they have, and hopefully try to help them from time to time. But sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm able to help. And there was this one listener who recently wrote in. They wrote in and said, "I love my partner, but I have zero interest in sex. It's killing me. I feel broken." Well, first off, obviously, we know She is not. We've had this conversation on the show before. It could be biological. It could be your brain chemistry at play.
Luckily, there's a little pink pill called Addyi. It's the first FDA-approved treatment for frustrating low libido in certain premenopausal women. It's not about fixing you. It's about helping you feel like you. So go to Addyi.com to learn more. That's ADDYI.com and get back to feeling like yourself.
Addyi, or flibanserin, is for premenopausal women with acquired generalized hypoactive sexual desire disorder, HSDD, who have not had problems with low sexual desire in the past, who have had low sexual desire no matter the type of sexual activity, the situation, or the sexual partner. This low sexual desire is troubling to them and is not due to a medical or mental health problem, problems in the relationship, or medicine or other drug use. Addyi is not for use in children, men, or to enhance sexual performance. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is increased if you drink 1 to 2 standard alcoholic drinks close in time to your Addyi dose. Wait at least 2 hours after drinking before taking Addyi at bedtime. This risk increases if you take certain prescriptions, OTC or herbal medications, or have liver problems, and can happen when you take Addyi without alcohol or other medicines. Do not take if you are allergic to any of Addyi's ingredients. Allergic reaction may include hives, itching, or trouble breathing. Sometimes serious sleepiness can occur. Common side effects include dizziness, nausea, tiredness, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, and dry mouth. See full PI and medication guide, including boxed warning, at addyi.com/PI.
Gia, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We're so excited to have you. I know it's your first season on Bravo. Well, it's your first kind of season on Bravo. It's like as your own kind of being a star of the season, but like you've been a reality TV icon. I don't know.
Forever.
How old were you when that singing video came out?
With waking up in the morning, I think I was 8 or 9.
Did you ever like watermark that?
I actually
There
patented
you go.
it,
Yeah, that's what I
and I did, and then I copyrighted it as well.
Very
So
good.
I did some things, and then I collaborated with a Jersey boutique called Hazel Boutique, and we did like waking up in the morning merch
Oh,
for it.
great.
So that was
That's fun.
fun, and that was a bit of an era for sure.
Second era.
When, like, how old were you when you realized it was the internet sensation that it was?
Well, it went viral during
Yeah.
COVID. So it was my sophomore year of college. So I was 19, maybe 19 turning 20.
Did you like honestly forget about it? And then when it came back, you're like, oh my God, I totally forgot I did that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, how the hell is this resurfacing right now?
Because we
It
have
was
nothing to
No,
do.
it was all how we were feeling. We were all
No, yeah.
feeling
everyone
how
was
you were
really
at,
bored.
at 4 or 5 years old, however old you were.
I guess the sound really resonated with what was going on
Right.
in the time. So it was definitely, it was nuts. It just came to a point where all these A-list celebrities started using my sound, like Lil Wayne, Lil Nas, Cardi B, Nicki
Crazy.
Minaj. I was like starstruck, and then I'm wondering to myself, do these people even know who I am? They probably don't. They probably think I'm just some little kid crying, and they probably just think the sound is
Well,
hilarious.
there's so many, like, what's great about this is, like, you know, there's other like popular memes that like that were, you know, what's the fire burning with the girl, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
those where like, well, I wonder where they are. Is that even a real person? You know, and then like, you know, here you are, you know, front and center, doing your own thing, you know, making a name for yourself, and it's like a full circle moment that it's really satisfying for the internet in ways that you usually don't get to
No,
see that.
definitely. Now I own it.
Yeah.
So
You should. You really should. How has filming Next Gen been?
it was a lot of fun. It was definitely different than being, you know, on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. It was more into our lives and honestly just not as intense. So it was super easy. It honestly felt like a breeze.
Well, we're definitely really enjoying you doing it, and I think there's a lot of hope for this show to, like, you know, maybe be like the next Vanderpump, in terms of, like, you know, that kind of younger show, younger audience. You know, seeing a lot of, it's always kind of fun to watch people in their early 20s like try to make it, chase the dream. You know, and it's even relatable for people who are maybe older. You know, because everyone's always like chasing a dream or going for a goal. There has been obviously a lot of discourse and talk about just how this cast came together between, you know, the Bravo kids, as they're referred to, and the trust fund babies. You know, this kind of like war between the two. Was that felt by the cast, you know, while you were filming, or is that something that through the edit and fan reactions are making a bigger deal than it ultimately was while you were filming?
I mean, I don't think it was any secret to how we met, especially for me. I knew Brooks and Ariana really well. We just connected and clicked. I'm genuinely very close with them. And then Riley, I knew her through the Bravo world, met her at BravoCon. But Riley and I honestly formed more of a friendship while filming Next Gen. And same with a lot of the cast members. I didn't know them. The big link between all of us was Brooks. So filming the first, couple episodes, it was everyone just getting used to each other and feeling it out and getting comfortable. There were connections between the whole cast, but between certain people, we really didn't know each other that well. So as the season goes on, I feel like you're gonna see people get more comfortable with each other. Obviously, the drama heightens towards the end of the season. And it really was because we were all getting to know each other. And I don't think that that was any secret. It really was Brooks being the main tie between everyone. And then the Bravo kids were obviously familiar with each other. And then Brooks's friends that he knew in
I
New
was saying
York.
this to Natalie when we were watching the most recent episode. It's also fascinating because, your mom has, made cameos. Brooks's mom, has made cameos. And it's fascinating because we usually get to see Meredith and Teresa in their housewife element, and it's also part of the drama. But it's very charming to see them playing the role of supportive mom. Right? Like it's such a reversal, and you get to see your mom, Teresa, and Meredith, Brooks's mom, in these very different lights. I don't know. Do you see that as well watching it back? Because it does come across as a lot more nurturing rather than like when they're playing the role of housewives, they're just arguing with their castmates. And then sometimes when their kids are in there, they're like, almost like in the room while people are arguing. It's been kind of really fun to see both of those women in this more nurturing light.
Well, I mean, for sure, but that's how they are on a day-to-day basis. So you guys are really seeing them on Next Gen, how they treat us and how they treat their kids and are with their kids every day. My mom is the sweetest person ever, and she is the most loving mom. But I've seen my mom obviously on Housewives and Meredith on her show. When you're around, just kind of a toxic environment and with women maybe that want to bring out the worst in you, you're not going to be shown in the most happy, positive light. But on Next Gen, there was no reason for them to be yelling across the table or telling anyone to leave. It just completely different vibe. And I'm really happy that people got to see my mom in that light as well.
What was your reaction to your mom hanging up on the news anchor?
Honestly, I thought she handled it perfectly.
I agree.
She's over it because people have this whole narrative that we just don't pay our taxes. And it's honestly comical for me, but not really. I honestly feel bad for my mom. I feel so bad for her because she's been busting her ass and paying everything since she got out. And when the news anchor said that to her, she just thought it was so insulting and so
It was
unprofessional.
such a just like for this random news anchor to like try to get some like clickbaity. It was so weird.
And she was going on there to promote the appearances that she had coming up. And overall, it was just so unprofessional. And I think a lot of people said that it was. And I just, I think for her, she was just so insulted by it because people think they know still to this day, and they don't. And I know, quite frankly, people want her to just set the record straight, but honestly, it's nobody else's business.
Period.
I'd love to get your thoughts on Trust Fund Charlie, as we like to refer to him. Why do you think he was so upset about $200 Bose speakers? And then last week's episode, his fight with Georgia.
I think it was this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, this most recent episode. That's what I mean.
Yeah, maybe.
I think a lot of Bravo fans are like, oh my God, another like toxic male that Bravo's giving this like platform to. What is your take on Charlie?
I know. And I have been seeing that. It's very difficult because I feel the way Charlie acts, he's new to this whole thing. And I'm not giving him an I'm not sticking up for him or excusing his behavior, but I think it comes from childhood trauma. And I really do think that his actions come from the way that he was raised and he was never loved and nurtured in his household. So that's why I think he feels like it's okay to act so abrasive and act out on people. I don't know. I don't think it's okay and I don't think it's an excuse, but at this point, he's 30 years old. He's not changing. It would have helped if, maybe he really took therapy seriously or really, took control of his emotions at a younger age. But at this point, I tell everybody this, he's 30.
Yeah.
He's not changing. He is who he is.
So do you think this is really who he is and not like maybe Charlie thinking he's supposed to perform, being kind of a new reality TV star?
Oh
And
no. When we were filming, you even heard him when he was going off on Georgia, saying, "I'm the only reason why you're even on this show." He had no filter. Nothing came out of his mouth where he was, trying to be careful because cameras were around. He would rip his mic off. He would say, like, this is not like it wasn't like that. He didn't care who was around. So the Charlie you see on Next Gen is definitely Charlie. But I do feel bad for him in some ways. I think he definitely has some issues that he just never took care of, and now it's too late.
I agree with you. I have a bit of empathy for him just because of the way we've gotten to see his relationship with his father. It seems kind of embarrassing that his dad wants to be on TV and use his son to get on camera as much as that. At least that's how it comes across. I've never, we were talking about this, I think, a couple weeks ago. Just the way he competes with Charlie is just bizarre.
His like question at that party was like, "Who's more attractive, me or Charlie?" It's like,
whoa,
it's a
bro,
crazy thing to ask a bunch of early 20-year-old girls.
So you see where that kind of you see where he gets it from. So I definitely have some empathy there.
You sticking up for Ariana was a great moment to see. We loved that. The way that Ava was trying to come at her brand and like the way that she was trying to frame it is like, I just don't know what she kept saying, like, what point of view? And you were like, you're saying she has no style. You're just saying she has no style.
I think we definitely had a couple drinks in our system that night. But yeah, there's points in time where things happen, especially like that, where you're like, okay, wow, Gia, you could have maybe backed it up just a little bit. But I was honestly happy with the way that I stuck up for Ariana, and watching it back now, Ava really was just insulting her the whole time. Nothing was making sense, and I was kinda just calling a spade, and I did feel bad, though, and that's why I did text her after that night, and I was like, "Sorry." But the bulldog comment was a little much. Like, relax. Handle your own.
You ride for your friends. It's a good trait to have,
Is your mom still not following Ava? Because I think we noticed that she unfollowed her.
That's such a lie. Like, guys, okay. Just knowing Teresa and knowing her personality, do you really think she would be able to just, I don't know, sit there and take the time to do that? I just know my mom, and she barely knows how to film her cameos correct. And, as you could see, like, when she hung up on the news anchor, she had to turn the phone around.
She's like, hold on, wait.
Hang up the phone. When she's like in the moment, she's frazzled. Like she's not tech savvy in any way. So when Ava said that, I was like, girl, like you're lying. I know my mom, and she doesn't care that much to unfollow you. It was just crazy.
Who's the closest friend you've made while filming this show?
Well, Brooks and I have always been close, but I would say not a part of the Bravo kids, Amira.
Okay.
Yeah, we work really, like, honestly, in the same line of work. So we connected a lot, and she's really cool.
Do you like or feel uncomfortable with the idea that have been referred to in Bravo world as Brooks's mouthpiece?
No.
You hate it?
I'm not offended by it.
Okay.
No, because I tell Brooks this too, and I think he's seeing it from the Bravo world a little bit too. He's got to start sticking up for himself a little more because he looks like he's running away from situations. And I'm like, Brooks, you cannot be like this.
Does he have fight in him that we haven't been able to see yet? That's like that we might be able to see in the future?
He's got to do
he just
it.
has to find
yeah,
it. Okay.
he's got to do
Or maybe
it.
he's just a gentle soul. Like he is, you know.
No, he is. He's a gentle soul. He hates confrontation. It makes him have the biggest, like, he gets so much anxiety thinking about confrontation. He really does hate it.
I would love to see Brooks stand up for himself a little bit better, but I will say,
I know.
Bravo, to Nally's point, has just a long list of toxic men, and Brooks seems anything but, and he is a delight to see. And just like, yeah, like, and sometimes, we're watching the Valley right now and we see all these like broken relationships and broken families. Like it's very nice to see like, the Marks family, show up and just be like,
Yeah.
oh, like, wow, they're on reality TV and they're healthy and they all love each other.
Yeah,
It's
and Brooks's family,
good quality.
they're amazing. Yeah, they're amazing. They're so funny. They're so close. They're such a close-knit family, but they're awesome.
What can we expect for Next Gen coming up?
Drama.
Drama. We love it.
Yeah, I think, like I was saying before, we really got to know each other throughout the season. So the more you get to know each other, the more time you spend with each other, the more people get on your nerves and emotions are heightened. So I would say towards the end of the season, there's just a lot more drama.
Do you enjoy Georgia's parties?
Perfect.
No.
All right, next question.
I love how you gave it some real thought.
She did.
Yeah.
You're going to see one of them.
Great.
Okay.
So,
do you have any
yeah.
notes for her, like ways that they could be improved?
No.
Maybe don't
Maybe
do 'em.
look at take a book from my pool party.
Oh,
Okay.
period.
Wow.
We love to see it.
Take a page from the
Take a
book.
page.
I have back. Sorry for going back to like just the casting process. Like, did you just like get a random call? Like, obviously your family is like has great relationships with the network. Obviously, did they have to court you and try to convince you to come on, or was it just kind of Brooks was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this." Like, what in terms of like the Bravo kids, how did that all come together?
Yeah, so Brooks called me about it, and then I filmed the sizzle. So I was like, okay, let me just film this sizzle. It's not locking me into anything yet. So then we filmed the sizzle 2 summers ago because we filmed the first season last summer. So then the sizzle was filmed 2 summers ago. That's where I kind of met some people. So I met Amira, Brooks, I knew Riley, but Brooks, Riley, and then the people who I met were Amira, Ava, Dylan, and Charlie. And then there was some other people that ended up not being on Next Gen. Then the meetings obviously started, and it kind of took me a minute just to think about what I was doing and if I wanted to do this. And then I recommended Ariana to be on Next Gen.
Great call.
Yeah, love her. She's amazing. So I recommended Ariana to be on Next Gen. Her interviews started going, and she locked it in, I locked it in, and I was like, "All right, I'm ready." Because she's like my girl. I really vibe with her, Brooks, and I was just nervous because I didn't know. I wasn't that close with anybody. So, besides Brooks and Ariana. So, once I felt like I had 2 strong friends on the show, I felt, ready and good to do the show.
Okay. Are we ever going to get to see Gia get an apartment in the city? Or are we going to always bridge and tunnel it?
Yeah, we are. They also, they exaggerated that a
Okay.
little bit, but I'm literally in the city 4 times a week for work, whether it's filming my podcast, Amazon Lives, events in New York. I'm I'm not even trying to say this about myself, but I'm a hustler. I work really, really hard. And they kind of exaggerated that whole thing that the city's such a hassle for me. Yeah, okay, traffic's annoying. It gets a little, exhausting going back and forth and commuting back and forth into the city, but I do it. I work my ass off. So
We respect everyone who hustles. We love to hustle on this side as well. And I will say that in fairness,
Yeah.
I know it feels like they kind of exaggerated that part, but I think it really comes across that the Bravo kids, if you want to call them that, they're all hustlers in the best possible way, as opposed to like,
Yeah.
Charlie and them. It's just like, it gives such an ick to like act like this entitled person who likes to talk about money that they don't have. Like, right now,
Yeah.
Nellie and I are doing okay. I don't know. I hope our daughter, who's only 15 months now, I hope we teach her humility and things like that. But I'm going to remind her that she's poor. She doesn't have money.
It's like that clip of Ben Affleck with like his son wanting those shoes, and they're like, "How much are the shoes?" Like $3,000. He's like, "Dad, they're $3,000." And Ben Affleck's like, "Yeah, you don't have $3,000. Like, I got it, but you don't."
Yeah. But it's really, I think it's a credit to your guys' family that clearly you guys were taught how to hustle and work hard, and it shows on the show, and I really respect it, and I think it's very evident, and it makes the Bravo gang a lot more likable than the other side.
I'm happy to hear that. Yes, but you definitely will see a change very soon. I'm enjoying my summer house right now, but then after this, I will be making my move.
Are you a top bunk or a bottom bunk gal?
I'm a bottom bunk gal.
We're not risking a falling off, babe.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Climbing up a ladder, I'm okay.
Oh my God. And then when the boyfriends come, it's
too
even
much.
crazier. My cousin's boyfriend's like 6 foot and he crawls off the top bunk, and it's
too much.
just such
What
a
an
sight
ick,
to see every day.
It's not even fair. Gia, thanks so much for taking the time. We'll let you get back to your summer plans. Really enjoying you on Next Gen. It's nice to see you carrying the tradition of a family that already is considered iconic. So thanks for taking the time, and look forward to seeing more of you as the season unveils itself.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having
Bye.
me.
All right, take care, Gia.
Bye,
bye-bye.
guys.
So likable.
So likable.
I love her. Yeah, her answer about George's parties. was
The way she thought
rough.
about it so hard.
She went,
No.
no.
I mean, I feel like we saw that with like I guess it wasn't her
Caviar
fault,
event.
but like the building people, like the venue event
Getting evicted.
or whatever, and then she's like,
Yeah.
"We'll figure it out. I wouldn't worry."
Georgia is one of my favorite characters on this show because I never know what is going to come out of that girl's mouth, what is going to happen in any sort of case scenario.
All right, well, let's get into some Bachelor in Paradise. I don't know. Here's my... The best part of the episode was the season preview. It honestly made like the rest of the season seem kind of promising. But for a 2-hour premiere...
And while we're also watching Love Island, it's a hard...
I mean,
it's a hard
the
transition.
whole episode, I don't know about you, Leah or Mary, but I was just like, give me like a Love Island challenge. Like I wanted...
Yeah.
I would take the
Yeah.
milk
And
and
then we
hot dogs
got
at this
one.
point.
Yeah,
Literally. And then we
Yeah.
got a challenge, and I was just like, what? I didn't
What?
even
It's
really
kinda
understand
clunky.
the premise. of
My
it.
and
My biggest issue with the Bachelor franchise at large is why is everything paced like a 3-hour Martin Scorsese movie? Like it's just Bachelor in Paradise specifically. I was like, why was this 2 hours?
Exactly.
It could have like
could have been 20
Let's pick
minutes.
it up a notch. It literally could have
We
been. 20
started with
minutes.
Spencer, who was their opener for the
Yep.
season, who in his thing, he's like, "You might not remember me." It's like, then why are you opening up the show? Like,
He's like, I'm like
yes.
matcha.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm like matcha and a yapper. But
we're
he's a
committed to
yapper.
giving it a shot, and I think I've heard from some of the producers working on it. They were really, and you might think, oh, well, they're biased. Like some of these producers, like they don't have. I've heard producers in other previous seasons be like, yeah, I don't know about this season. So some of them seem really excited about the work they put in and the product they finished with. that being said, it's just like, and who was the guy? Who was the another guy who was like was on Steven? Like he was on
Katie Thurston's.
Yeah, he's like, if you blink, you didn't see me, and then like he's already gone.
Yeah,
Why
Kyle.
are
It's like,
you there?
Like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
usually
edit
when
him
you
out.
bring in someone who like goes home night one or whatever, like a grocery store Joe.
No, like a Brett from Jen season.
Oh yeah, where is
Brett?
Yeah, where is Brett from Jen season?
Oh yeah, what?
Like
You didn't ask him?
maybe he has a girlfriend, and I hope that's the reason why, or he turned him down. But like,
Great
you've
call.
got these random guys, and you didn't bring back Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Craziness.
Yeah, that's a really good call. Hopefully he comes in as like a bombshell.
And Brett had like when we interviewed him, he was charming. He had some swag. Do you feel like maybe I'm not one to judge, and it is TV, but like I do feel like there's a lack of swag when it comes from the men.
I mean, yeah, I
Yes.
think men in general are just like,
No sauce.
Well, I was glad that Alex called Jonathan out because she was like, "You haven't like been making an effort with anyone."
no, it was.
Since we're like deep in Love Island right now, like you can tell that like Jeremiah and Nick and even Ace, they know how to talk to women. You
Yeah.
can tell that they're charming and they're comfortable around women and they have game. You can just kind of tell. And it really seems
Mhm.
like all these men that they've casted on Bachelor in Paradise are the like really good looking guys who like are single for a
Don't
reason.
have the sauce.
I mean, I feel like Dale was probably the most like has
Mm.
swag, and I feel like he's
Yeah.
the oldest. He's like lived the most life.
Dale-
He's
Dale
the most
inside, yeah.
successful. He like, so that's
He's
why all the women
tired,
are
according
swooning
to
because
Kat.
they've been stuck
Yeah.
with these like nobodies from this show, and finally we have like
Yeah.
this tall, handsome, successful Dale Moss. It's like, oh, sure, yeah, I'll take it.
Nick, do you feel like you got more tired after you passed 35?
No. Yeah, but I'm not the norm, when it comes to that.
I also do like, I can see the difference in the show. Obviously, like the way it's edited. Obviously we're in like a completely
Yeah.
different place. We're not in Mexico.
Environment,
We're in
mhm.
Costa Rica, and like I do like this vibe better. I do like, like the entrances were definitely better. Like the getting out of the car, the slow mo. Like it's corny, it's cheesy, but like it's definitely better than what it was.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm biased. I definitely
I mean,
sound
we
like one
have
of
the
those guys who's like
dances.
back in my time, but like season 3
Mhm.
rock.
Well, I have not watched season
What
3.
can
but-
so? This is my first Bachelor in Paradise. What is the point? Like, what are they?
Find love.
Are
to
they
find
just dating
love,
around?
Mary,
Well,
durr.
Yeah, but like Love Island, it's like you win. Like, are they trying to win?
They're
Well,
trying to get
according-
engaged.
According to the season preview, apparently there's $500,000 on the line, right?
Yeah,
Didn't I not-
what?
But
that was a new
how?
twist. No, you did catch that.
Right?
And they're gonna, it sounds like, do that thing where they like give the winning couple a choice, like to choose between
take
love
it
and
all,
money.
Well, because like Bachelor Pad, which I've never seen, which
Yeah.
predated Bachelor in Paradise,
I've seen
which
it.
a lot of people liked, and it was very popular
Yes,
for
it
the
was
people who
great.
did watch it. But it was like before its time. That was
It
all
was
about
more like Love Island.
Yeah, that was all about competition,
Mhm.
and then like the winning couple that was like very much like a la Love Island. If you both chose to keep it, you would split it, and if one person chose to keep it, they would get all the money, and that happened once, and
Mhm.
it was iconic.
It
It was
Um,
crazy. It was
yeah.
crazy. The guy chose money and then left her with nothing, and it was nuts.
I guess I just don't like a couple things I didn't understand logistically. It's just like why get rid of 4 men right off the jump? Like and Sam,
That's a great
for as
question.
much
I
as
mean, they were annoying.
like you didn't like him on Jen's season, he was like when he came onto the show, I was like, all right, a guy I remember, he was the villain, kind of a dick, fun to hate. Let's see if there's an arc there. Let's see if there's a softer side of him,
Mhm.
or maybe he's just really a dick, and like he was on for 5 minutes and now he's gone already. I don't it seemed kind of odd. And then again, I don't forget the guy's
Yeah.
name who was barely on Katie's season and barely on this season. It's like, what was the point of giving us 2 hours to get to know 4 people you're going to immediately send home?
Yeah, and I really thought that they were gonna bring in like a woman at the end or like toward the end. You know how they do that sometimes where they will bring one more person in at the cocktail party, and it's like, okay, like all 4 of you have to fight over this one rose.
Yeah.
Well, they
Um,
teased Susie
thought they'd do
Evans
that.
in the season preview, which It's
Yeah.
great. Like I'm shocked they didn't lead with Susie. She should have been the first person on the beach or the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
pool.
setting it up in a way because
Yeah.
Justin and Lexi are
Yeah, they
having this
needed to
thing
have the
now,
whole
and
conversation of like,
she's-
who's Justin's ex?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Susie. Wait, I love her. Oh my God, is he ready to move on?
I would have done
and
it
be
the
in
other
a
way. I
real
would have brought in
relationship?
Yeah.
Susie and have.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I know them, but I just don't feel. I feel like they're both moved on.
Yeah, I feel like they're both two chill individuals. You know, like they're both like, yeah, sure. You know, I don't, in like the best possible way.
Like it's
No.
like they were definitely friends before they started dating, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just stay friends. Let's just be friends. It was giving that. I
Yeah.
don't feel like there's any.
I think he said something like, yeah, we don't talk that much, but we're still friends or something like that. Yeah, he seemed pretty chill about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It
Mm.
was just interesting first episode.
Who are your favorites so far?
I don't have one.
Kat and Dale.
Yeah.
But
what's the whole
what
thing
is
with
gonna
Kat?
happen with Kat?
I don't-
mean,
what
I mean,
is her
Kat's
history?
excellent
Well, they're-
television,
yeah.
and it seems like I think she was referred to as an actress by her peers in not a good way in the trailer. At least it seemed like that
Love.
what they were referring to Kat.
who is that's gonna they're previewing? Is that like, are those her friends or people from her past? Because I didn't recognize them coming
We
in
don't
to
recognize
like
anyone on this
say
show.
that she's only in it for. Yeah, but you know I would.
You recognize that guy from Katie's season?
I mean, yeah.
You
I
did?
but like only a little bit. I remembered like his face. He looked recognizable.
Like if you saw him in a grocery store, you'd be like, oh my God, that was that guy on Katie's season.
No, I'd be like, oh my God, where have I seen this person before?
Okay.
The schmarmy blonde haired guy is on there. I recognized him. Forget his name.
Army blonde hair
The
guy.
blonde-
Which
mhm.
one?
His dad was like some
Blonde-haired guy.
politician that.
Oh,
Blonde-haired
I
guy.
don't know.
he referred to himself as like Ken or something.
Yes, he referred to himself as Ken.
Did he go home?
Was he? He was on preview for next.
He was on a preview. I was like,
Oh.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I definitely hope every episode is less than an hour.
Shorter.
That's all my attention span can give it.
Tight 45, please.
Definitely not a phone down show. I'll tell you that much.
the most drama
Nope.
we had was
Hakeem.
Hakeem being upset that he was referred to as vanilla.
Yeah.
That was but and then also his crash out at the end.
Oh, yeah, because no one liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's intense. He was intense.
Yeah.
That argument between him and Ricky, and then Alex that's where Alex got the ick.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not picking this guy.
Poor Jonathan. He's like trying to talk to Alex, and she's like, "You have deodorant in your armpit." He's like, "Okay," and she's like, "Can you move your arm down? Can you move your arm down? Move it down more. Move it down." It's like at least he's
Yeah.
wearing deodorant. Like
That's
he
so
could have
true.
stank ass bo.
Yeah. Also, Jonathan does seem like he has some swag.
Yeah, Jonathan does.
Yeah.
He's
my
in
favorite
that
guy.
moment, what I wanted from him was to like laugh or make a joke about it, because Alex was like, "You have a white clump in your armpit."
I think
that
he was
can't
caught off guard because she
unsee."
made it
He was
seem
just
like
She was
so
so serious about it,
She
yeah.
wasn't like
Yeah.
jokey. She was being like, "Put your arm down. I don't want to look at it."
I feel like she was maybe just being like
thought she was
very dry.
joking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought she was kind of trying
She's
to
like
do
an
a bit with it.
awkward.
Yeah, and he didn't.
He didn't.
didn't-
It fell very flat.
He didn't yes and her. That's all I have to say.
I felt like
Um,
he was uncomfortable because she was like, "Move your arm. No, keep moving
Mm.
it. It wasn't like, haha, you have deodorant in your armpit. It was like, so it's like someone being like, you have spinach in your teeth, and you try and get it, and then like, just don't talk, you know, like just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Also, not them letting Lexi get all dressed up for a date that they knew was going to get canceled. And
Yeah.
then Justin goes and picks her up for it and is just like, we're not going.
Well, I don't understand why
Like,
they
I-
couldn't go down to like the gift shop.
But the problem is,
Yeah,
like, is that,
like,
that's
Stay inside.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Why show it to us? It's a 2-hour episode already. Like, that could have been cut. Like,
Yeah,
that could have been an Ian
There's
Sterling.
a lot that could have been
Justin and
cut. There's a lot
Yeah.
that could have been cut.
I'm curious how the Goldens are gonna
I'm not.
come in.
I will say in I don't know, the season preview, they seemed actually, I was like, you know what, maybe they will bring something
They look
to
more
this.
fun.
I don't know. They implied that someone makes out with someone.
yeah, they did.
I sure hope so. That'll
For
make
you?
it interesting.
I hope it's only in like a challenge.
Well, we love our dogs and we want them to live as long as possible. And that's why we feed them good, fresh, healthy dog food made with human-grade ingredients that's easy to serve as it is nutritious. Sundays for Dogs was co-founded by a veterinarian. Their air-dried recipes help dogs thrive. No prep, no fridge, just real food your pup will love. Sundays contains 100% all-natural meat and superfoods and 0% synthetic nutrients and artificial ingredients. I can't tell you how many times we used to use the frozen food and I would forget to take it out of the freezer. I'm trying to thaw it while the dogs are hungry. They're waiting for their meals. Sundays for Dogs is so convenient. It does not require refrigeration or preparation because of the air drying process. You just pour and serve, and when you start a Sunday subscription, you'll automatically get 20% off and free shipping on every reorder.
So if you love your dogs like we love ours, make sure you're giving them all natural meat and superfoods with 0 synthetic nutrients and artificial ingredients. Dog parents report noticeable health improvements in their pups, including softer fur, fresher breath, better poops, and more energy after switching to Sundays. So get 40% off your first order of Sundays. Go to sundaysfordogs.com/VIALL or use code VIALL at checkout. Again, that's sundaysfordogs.com/VIALL.
Kicking off the summer, Function is sharing their Long Live campaign. Long Live is a celebration of the everyday moments that make life worth staying healthy for. For me, this means long live early morning mom time, long live choosing habits that best serve me, long live more time with loved ones. Function Health is about taking control of your health through data. Instead of guessing what's happening inside your body, Function helps you know for sure, providing access to 100+ advanced lab tests. These tests include insights into thyroid function, hormones, liver health, heart health, autoimmunity, kidney infection, nutrient levels, heavy metal toxicity, immune system electrolytes, and more. It's beyond traditional healthcare. Most traditional annual checkups only cover 19 biomarkers. Function Health goes 5 times deeper. It matters because lifespans are decreasing, chronic conditions are rising, and cancer is becoming more and more common in younger people. Knowing what's happening inside is key to prevention, which is why comprehensive testing is so important.
It's recommended by Dr. Mark Heyman, Dr. Andrew Heberman, and Dr. Casey Means. It gives you 5 times more than the average physical will give you in terms of the comprehensive information that you will get. Knowledge is power, and the more you know about how your body is operating, the more you can be on top of your health. At $499 annually, the membership includes the cost of 100+ lab tests through their nationwide lab partner. There are over 2,000 locations nationwide, making it accessible to a wider audience, and compared to traditional healthcare costs, that could reach up to $15,000 for these exact tests.
In the spirit of Long Live and taking control of your health, get a $100 credit towards your annual membership at www.functionhealth.com/VIALL. This $100 credit is only for the first 1,000 listeners. Sign up at functionhealth.com/VIALL. We have to get into Love Island. I'm bursting at the seams.
Let's get into Love Island. So much to break down. For those of you who don't remember, the last time we got to talk about this show was right before the Standing on Business Challenge. So much has changed since we talked about the show. I mean, the entire cast is different. I guess let's just start by addressing, obviously, Cierra is no longer in the villa. She has been removed. It's appropriate that she has been removed because obviously the things that were found out, very ignorant and racially insensitive comments by Cierra. So obviously it needed to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
It was very disappointing to see those posts from Cierra and obviously not okay and very insensitive and very ignorant. I'd like to see Cierra have, it's again, she's in the villa right now and everyone's having all these comments about her intentions, who she is as a person, her family getting harassed, which again, her comments completely inappropriate, very ignorant and insensitive. Hopefully, I'm assuming she's going to get out of the villa, address them appropriately, take responsibility for them.
Her friend who was running her account the whole time.
Not her friend.
Definitely not her friend. She did this whole Cosmo interview based on how she's running her account. And then I think before all the screenshots came out of what Cierra had said, I think her name is MJ, but she's making this TikTok being everyone's saying, how are you Cierra's gonna be so pissed to find out how you're running her account. And then she's like, you really think Cierra's gonna give a fuck when she's at 1 million followers? And it's right.
And then immediately
everyone's
dropped all those followers.
Oh, well then we won't get her to 1 million.
No, clearly this person is not Cierra's real friend. And also again, Cierra needs to take responsibility for these comments and completely inappropriate. But who are the people that Cierra
surrounds herself
with? Cierra went into this show thinking it was okay to leave those posts up, still thinking has no one corrected her? Has no one seen those posts and said, you can't
The
say
most
stuff like
recent
that?
one was in 2023, where I'm guessing this girl running her account was friends with her in 2023. So it was hard to see her friend immediately post a response kind of publicly disowning Cierra without having a conversation with her. So not only is Cierra, coming out to obviously all of this, but also to her friend who she apparently had a lot of trust in to run her social media account, being like, oh, I don't associate myself with you anymore. What I would have loved to see from her friend is a post along the lines of, Cierra said something, I don't agree with it, I don't condone it, it's not okay, very inappropriate. When she gets out of this villa, I cannot wait to have a conversation with her. It'll be very important. We need to get to the bottom of this. I'm eager to have that conversation.
It's just that she immediately tried to distance herself from her so-called friend. And again, like a real friend is someone who like holds their friend accountable, but like is willing to stand by their side, unless it turns out that there's like a lot of deeper hatred from Cierra that,
It was very much giving this as a transactional friendship. And like the second it got where it could potentially hurt her career, she was like, oh, no, I'm not involved. Like, I don't associate myself with her. I'm backing away from this friendship. We're not friends. I don't accept this.
Well, previously, like using her being the handler of her account as a way to get press for herself. Clearly, this is this insensitive thing that she said was part of her vocabulary and something that she's used frequently. No one in her circle has ever said, you can't say that. Like, you can't talk that way.
I thought I saw, I may be incorrect, but I thought I saw someone.
Yeah, they're
someone
not sure if it was
screenshots
fabricated or if it's real,
real.
but they did find that somebody did correct her.
And she said,
good
thing I didn't use it in that context.
Yeah.
But then it was like, well, what was the context you used it in?
Because she did use it in a
derogatory context. Yeah.
So I think that's why, like, Bella posted what she posted about, like, how she was going to wait for Cierra to leave the villa and give her grace, but then she saw, like, more stuff coming out. And I think she's referring possibly to that screenshot that came out, where she said, and I just can't. And so she's unfollowed Cierra.
Well, I am eager to, I'm sure she gets her phone back any day now. I'm like eager to hear, her response and what she says, to learn and grow from this and to not make this mistake again.
I hope she has good people around her.
I just wanted to say I was on the Amaya train from the beginning.
You were.
Yeah. Nick was an OG.
Zach, Elan, and Brian all
evil
coming at her right after finding. Like,
Brian
I loved
didn't.
the challenge.
Brian didn't.
Brian was the one who
Brian
defended her.
Had her back.
Yeah,
You're
Brian
right. Brian defended
her before she was the fan favorite.
I think you always have to remember in these shows, just like I think people do have to remember the psychology of these shows. And like I say this in general because the show has gotten so toxic. And like, listen, we love breaking down this show. We love talking about and breaking down these scenes. It's just like goes without saying. I think it should be going out. These shows are edited and these people like show up to a very controlled social experiment. They are cut off from their families, their support group. They are in constant emotional fight or flight mode. And they're doing this all for our entertainment, right? And this is why we always see how I always say, like in these types of environment, the house is the bully, right? And yeah, it was crazy that those guys came after Amaya. Like here is Amaya standing up there in the stand down business challenge. And she immediately she's crying. She's like, all right, received. I hear your note. It's like
getting dogpiled by 3 grown men while she's
first
sobbing.
Of all, Austin was out of pocket for bringing it up, and then Zach started to pile on. But like, that's what I'm saying.
It was Ace first, and then Zach.
And it just exemplifies what I've been talking about, like high school, right? Everyone is so afraid of standing out, like right because you're on an island, you're by yourself. No one really has any friends early on. All these friendships early on. I think now there's some genuine friendships, but even still, like. Going back to Cierra, we've seen all these emotional goodbyes. Cierra's gone, and I don't know, no one really acted upset. Did they tell the group why she was gone? It's unclear whether they knew why, but like it was like she was, Cierra's gone. I mean, Nick showed a little bit of like disappointment.
And then he was like excited to be back with Nicolandria.
And that's fine. I guess my point is it just exemplifies that there's like everyone's really alone. These aren't real friendships. You know what I'm saying? Like they're friendships that are based off of both just trying to survive and get through it, right? But there's no real loyalty. There's really no history. And so that's why you see these guys following Ace, because once one guy greenlit something that they agree with, you know, and the next person, whoever it was, whether it was Ace or whatever, it gives them a sense that it's okay to pile on. And that's why I always say the house is the bully. I do think that we should recognize that, like, again, despite like, again, breaking down these scenes, the way people comment on these people as if they know they would do better in these environments is crazy. Like, these are not normal environments to subject yourself to. And they're constantly being pushed. And it's you know, I do think everyone in the villa deserves some kind of grace, because things are edited, things are shown out of context. That all being aside, that's why we love Amaya so much, because despite everything I just described, she has always stood up for herself. She's always stood up for other people. She's never taken the bait to like put someone down and punch down. She's never done that. And that just speaks to her character, because that's why so many people on these shows, whether it's Love Island or The Bachelor, when they're just part of the majority, when they're part of the group and they all kind of join up and go after an outsider because it feels safer to do that. Amaya's never done that. Not once. And
Amaya said, if I can survive Love Island, I can survive die skiving.
Die skiving! I would die for her. I would die skiving for her.
Yeah, the apocalypse.
The apocalypse. Tachycardic.
I love her.
She's incredible.
I give grace to all these people because, again, in the environment they're put in, but you can really sometimes see exceptional people. I think Amaya is an exceptional person.
Could y'all tell that everything switched for Amaya when the America likes you the most and least?
Oh yeah, the switch up from like Zach. Like everyone started treating Amaya differently.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's like I loved the Truth by Maybelline, the challenge. It was great because it really humbled a lot of people. But what it kind of also did was a little bit like change the game, because everybody's playing this game so hard it's like now they know, oh, Amaya's the front runner.
Yeah.
So it's like now all of a sudden Zach wants to kiss her again. Where did his boundaries go? Like all of a sudden Elan is interested, you know what I mean? And it's like, it almost like, yeah, the game.
Love Island is almost
the game more.
turning into like this weird version of Survivor.
Yeah.
I
am
the way
interested
they're
now
voting.
to see like,
yeah,
because I know a lot of people were saying that like Cierra standing behind Taylor was like strategic because she saw that Iris and TJ were a strong couple.
I definitely think that was fucked up on Sierra's part. She like chose her man over her girls, which she even said. She was like, I definitely thought of Nick. Like I knew he would be upset if his boy left. And it's like, but your girl, Iris, who you allegedly like want to have this threesome or whatever she was like, Iris is my couple that I'd want to, whatever. Like, and you're going to send her man home. Like, none of these women stood behind Iris. And it's like, TJ, Huda has not liked Adrina. Adrina and Huda have not liked each other, obviously, with the whole Jeremiah of it all. I think that was a very girl thing for Huda to do, of like, no one standing behind Adrina, like, let me go and do this. But then it felt like, I guess I get Nicolandria standing behind Austin. That's her boy. But it's like, again, you're just letting
Austin,
TJ go when that's like, Iris has not had one fair shot in this villa. Not once. She got here. She got cussed out by Huda. And then she was like, America put her with Jeremiah. That she fought on the front lines for that whole time. And then to have that relationship be taken from her when Jeremiah gets sent home. Then you have her like, single again. Oh, she couples up with TJ. Oh, then to Casa Amor. She's with this guy, Zach, that she doesn't really fuck with. Then she comes back to Casa. She has 3 days with TJ. And then like he's sent home. She's just gotten the short end of the stick every single time.
No, you're totally right.
And none of these women have rode for her the way she's rode for them.
Iris has proven to be one of the most sincere people on the villa. And she's been she's always been likable, but she's really proven to be like a high character person.
Like Iris saved Huda.
Yeah.
When it was Huda and Jalen.
Oh, it was
Jalen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jalen was her bombshell brother. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind Alandria going for Austin because, like, you know, again, maybe they have like a nice friendship, but like he had no one else riding for him. And I felt like at least that was for Austin as opposed to Cierra Cierra did it for Nick.
Yeah.
She did it for Nick's approval.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why it was so kind of, ugh. Like that's her lasting, it's like it's her lasting impression in the villa.
It was also a hard
Yeah.
challenge to watch in general. Like, who likes you the least and most?
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
kinda
like
icky.
putting Taylor and Clark at the end for everything. I'm sure it like really fucked with their mental health. A lot of just being like, what the fuck have I done? Like, why am I least?
Yeah.
know.
I feel really bad for Clark. She's done nothing
wrong.
wrong. Nothing wrong. Like Taylor, not my boy. But
Yeah, I don't
Clark,
fuck with him
like,
anymore
is
either.
literally just there to find love. And, like, honestly, Taylor seems to really like Clark. And even Alandria saying in this past episode, like, was she happy to see them last? Yes, because she's petty. But then, like, she was like, no, they actually seem, like, really happy together.
Mhm.
And she was like, my issue was just the way Taylor handled
Yeah,
the
listen.
situation with me.
Taylor thought he ate without. If you're gonna make me choose right now, I will choose Clark.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Alandria has a right to be petty in that moment. We've all been petty
Yeah.
when we've been rejected by someone right in front of our face around our peers. It's a shitty feeling. Like we've all been petty in that moment. She has the right to be in that moment. And we've all like, and she's going to realize that she probably would have never liked Taylor to begin with, but like he was the only one available to her that she liked him the most in a group of people
Mhm.
that she probably wouldn't really like all that much. So I don't fault that at all. I don't. Natalie and I are a little bit on different ends of the spectrum here. But back to the stand on business challenge between Huda versus Shelly. It was mostly Shelly,
Uh-huh.
but Alandria and Shelly and Cierra. I at least understood where Huda was coming from.
I think they were mean girls to her. Yes, it definitely felt like a pile on. It felt, you know, Alandria like trying to air out the kiss in that moment. That felt messy. Like it definitely did feel a little bully mean girl.
Mhm.
But I will say Huda cannot say that she's taken accountability and she regrets and she has remorse for the way that she acted in that challenge with Ace and then ask the question, frame it the way that she did to Shelly, which was in quotes like, how can you say it's just a challenge and then get mad at me when it's just a challenge? And it's like, well, I thought you understood. I thought you were taking accountability. I thought you felt bad for it. Like, why? You could ask that question in a completely different way if you actually had remorse and you were taking accountability, and it didn't feel like she did.
Well, I feel like the reason that she said that she wrote that was because Shelly wouldn't talk to her still up until this point, and Huda has still not been able to have a conversation where she like gets to ask, and it's the stand on business challenge where everybody's asking these things that they like haven't had the chance to say face to face, and so Huda's using this as an opportunity to have this conversation with Shelly.
Well,
And she's asking the question, and then once Shelly clarified it, she was like, "Listen, I'm sorry. Like I am sorry," and then and then I think what really like did it for Huda was when Alandria said that she kissed Chris. And then all of a sudden Huda was like, how dare you? Like, I've tried to have your backs. Like,
I do think Huda could have pulled Shelly before this stand on business for a chat. It's not like Shelly was like, don't talk to me, don't talk to me, don't talk to me. The night of, she was like, hey, I'm really high on my emotions right now. I don't want to have like an aggravated conversation. Let's talk tomorrow. And Huda being the one who fucked up, it is in her place, in her shoes, to go to Shelly and be like, hey, are you ready now? Because she was the one who did something. She
The
was in the
follow-up.
wrong. So she does need to chase. If she wants an accepted apology, she does need to be the one to confront Shelly again. And we never saw a clip of her trying to pull Shelly or trying to ask Shelly for another chat and Shelly being like, no,
well,
I
no,
don't
she
want to
specifically
again.
said, she
Yeah.
specifically said
I'm
that
gonna
she
wait
was,
for her to
they
come
were
to me.
they were both telling other people like, I'm going to wait for her to come to me. So
Yeah.
When Huda was
don't-
like, what was
Would it help if I was ugly?
Oh my God,
oh yeah, what did that mean?
that was crazy.
Can we unpack that?
Here's how I see it, and this is why it's just like maybe it's just not fair, but it's like it's the line with great power comes great responsibility. I look at Shelly and I see this emotional, mature, classy person who honestly, it's just like she's almost like too mature for this group, right? And she seems like someone who really is good at just processing her emotions. And Huda is time and time again seems to be really poor at that, right? So I guess in this moment, why it kind of gives a little mean girl, because while like Huda has been more self-centered than most and more selfish than most, she seems very reactive. And that doesn't make it okay. But I feel like Huda can't help herself. I feel like right now she's like stuck in this, like, again, science experiment. And I see more of an effort of Huda trying to figure out what she's doing wrong in real time and having a hard time figuring it out. Where Shelly, she seems like, and maybe this isn't fair. Like maybe this is like a double standard, because I feel like, because like if it seems like Shelly's more in control of her emotions. And so it seemed like she was arguing semantics with Huda. Where like, I feel like, you know, and it's just as if like, back to like them saying they're never really real friends. It's like, I feel like they're pretending to be friends with Huda. And in the real world, I think they would otherwise be like, I just don't fuck with this person. And then finally the person they don't really fuck with kept doing annoying shit and like kept kind of like making it about them and saying things like, if I were ugly, you know, just like Hudas. And I think they're just kind of, Shelly just decided that she was done with Huda. And then made a thing about her going after a guy, Chris. That's what I didn't get. It's just like, you've been with Ace the whole time, and now you want to explore Ace, but Ace can't do anything. And it felt like Shelly decided to have a problem with what Huda was doing, rather than she really had a problem with it. But she decided to make that the thing that she went after Huda for. Does that make sense? Like, I see why Shelly's mad at her, and she has every right to be mad at her. And Huda like can't get out of her own way, but I just feel like Shelly's way more in control of her emotions, and that's why it just kind of feels a little wrong.
I think it read to me like Huda did something specific that they could pinpoint just not liking her in general on. I agree with you. And that was kind of where that came from.
I want to know when the timeline of them asking America those questions for the Maybelline challenge, because there's no way that Zach, after his stand on business, the way he attacked Amaya, there's no way that America likes TJ less than they like him. Like the fact that TJ was on the chopping block over the two new guys is like Elon and Zach. It's shocking.
I think that there were two different. No, I think that there were two different voting sessions. Honestly, I think what happened was it's confusing. I think that the favorite Islander was probably in a different timeline than all the other questions, because based on what you're saying, I feel like also Clark would have been in the bottom.
Yeah, it kind of didn't make sense that like Clark was on the bottom of all these other votes, but then she wasn't even in the bottom 3 of favorite Islander.
I really think that they were two different. Like I think that the Maybelline challenge was like one set of things, and then they just kind of like used the two, like combined it as a dumping.
I also think Zach, because he was coupled up with Amaya, got a lot of like sympathy votes because of him being coupled up with Amaya versus like if it was before.
No, because people would have wanted him gone because they love
for
him,
Amaya.
So would open up.
Well,
Amaya.
I feel like there was at one point where people were I guess it was the couple votes that they got moved up, like the vacation one, whatever, because obviously everyone loves Amaya, and because Zach was in that couple, like it just happened that he was at the top of that one. Like the favorite couple you would want to go on vacation with or something.
Why,
yeah.
It's just crazy that we're not going to get movie night.
I mean, we don't know 100%. Ariana was on After Sun and kind of asked, like, what can we expect, like, coming forward? And she was like, we have another recoupling and, like, families. And it's like...
Well, I mean, what's the point of movie night at this point? There's no real...
Yeah, Sierra's gone.
There was one closed-off couple. She's now gone.
And it would really only be, like... drama within the friend groups. It would be like stuff they said about the like other people behind their backs. But
now even like Sierra's gone from that friend group, so that dynamic's already rocky. It's just like now they almost have to like. There's no established couples. It's like now we're rooting for Amaya and Brian. It's really Amaya and whoever she wants to date.
Iris and Pepe.
Iris and Pepe. It's like sure, because we both like Pepe and Iris individually. So it's like okay, cool. Pepe like legit. I loved him from the beginning. Definitely, he's upfront. He's honest. He doesn't play games. He's not a follower. Love Pepe.
Nicolandria.
No,
but like,
am I the only Nicolandria stan?
The Nicolandria thing is, it's like you know,
tried.
The fan. It's like
it makes me overjoyed.
Now it's feeling real.
I'm
like
very happy.
Now it's feeling really like they know what they understand the assignment.
But
It's feeling
honestly,
produced. It's feeling produced.
I disagree.
honestly, like with before, whenever they were coupled up before, they were both like, oh, I have Taylor in the back of my mind. And he's like, oh, I have Cierra in the back of my mind. And it's like, okay, so now I get Taylor's in a whole new connection, but Cierra was kicked out. So what, Elandria's just going to like make out with her man? It's not like Cierra chose someone else.
I think they know why Cierra got kicked out. I think they definitely told them, because when the way they reacted when Hannah left the villa versus like Cierra getting kicked out, if the producers didn't tell them what was going on, they would have like a very different reaction.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that
Maybe,
like
I don't know.
the context really matters, because right now the way that I feel is like, Elandria, this is your girl. Like, you guys were best friends, and like she's out there still. Like you don't know why she left. If she left for a personal reason, you're just going to go in
to save Nick. But I don't get being like, I'm still wanting to explore this. It's like, why do you want to explore?
I think they've liked each other the entire time.
I just don't know if there was no whole time for the production to explain in context fully why Cierra was removed. You know what I'm saying?
I think that they probably said like something resurfaced from her past, and we had to remove her.
Exactly, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't think that if these friendships were actually real and genuine, you don't think they would still be upset?
No, I don't know, because I feel like some of these handler producers are, real buddy with cast. They like to be a little messy. They like to spill some tea. And I bet that a lot of them were like, you want to get listen to what Cierra did. I bet they all know what she said.
And I bet they were like, when you come out of this villa, you're going to want to distance yourself from her. Like, that's probably like, for them in their heads, they're probably like, well, we don't want this to happen to us when we come out of the villa. So we're not going to I don't know. I don't know what they know in the villa. All I know is I've been team Nick and Elandria when I thought I was being delusional. So I'm very happy about this, and I want them to win.
I want to believe it's real, but like at this point, it just feels produced, and this season just really turned into a mess. I'm locked in. We're enjoying every episode, but I wish there were more people to root for, more relationships. The PPG, those three relationships are all still going strong.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I really think that Nick and Elandria, I think Nick likes Elandria a lot more than he liked Cierra.
Well, I would believe that in the sense that I don't know how into Cierra he was.
Yeah.
I just feel like Nick is just a very charming kind of he's in his fuckboy era. And that's not even like a criticism. It's just more like I don't think that man should be settling down anytime soon. The fact that America thought he was like one of the best boyfriend materials, it's just like maybe like in the future, but he just doesn't look, he's not giving, I'm ready to settle down and date right now.
I think
not with Cierra, he wasn't.
I think with Elandria, like when he literally is saying to Elandria, like, you make me feel like I'm like a man.
I know, but that's like a little boy having a crush on. I just feel like Elandria. I feel like Nick is beneath Elandria. I just don't think.
I think he's the best person for her in this villa.
I definitely think she chose right, being that her other two options were Zach and Elon, and like no to both of them. She obviously does have a friendship and a bond with Nick, and I think it's totally okay and totally fair for them to be like, hey, we're saving each other. Maybe a bombshell comes in the future for one of us. But like the fact that both of them are being like, we're still open to exploring each other. I still am open to getting to know you more and like seeing if it's still, that's bonkers to me.
I think they've been into each other.
No, I think that they're, I agree with Mary in the sense that I think that the two of them like had a thing. And then, Elandria had Taylor still and Nick had Cierra. And I think that also Elandria was a little bit worried about like how that would be for her friendship with Cierra. And Nick was worried about how that would be for his friendship with Taylor. And so I think that, that definitely got in their way. Yeah. I think that the difference between how Nick looks when he's talking to Elandria versus how he looked when he was talking to Cierra is night and day. I really wonder what they were told about Cierra's exit, because the fact that they're both able to move on this quickly, Elandria having been so close with Cierra as friends, and then Nick having been closed off with her, talking about like, what does closed off mean here versus on the outside, which is a crazy conversation in and of itself.
I actually think Natalie got it right. I think producers I think the show, quote unquote, like I think their formal meeting they didn't get much detail, and I bet
It was on one of their off days when they
individual
were at the hotel.
producers had one-on-one conversations, and they probably it was like,
You
hey,
know,
I'm not
Nick-
supposed to tell you this,
Nick
but
went
like,
to his handler and was like, please, like, what happened?
Yeah.
And they were like, all right,
I
I'll
bet
just tell you.
I bet that's
Mhm.
how it all went down. But
But-
big fans. I mean, listen, I there's a bunch of people in this cast I'm excited to get a chance to talk to and meet, and Iris and
Mhm.
Pepe and Amaya, Alandria, Shelly. I mean, even like, you know, as much as we criticized Ace and his whole like his 5'10", like he's very charming and very funny at times. And like, I just,
Mhm.
I mean, him
Mhm.
saying he went to a good high
Yeah.
school and then sleeping on a beach chair. Like, clearly this
Mhm.
man
Yeah.
has survived a lot
Yeah.
in his life. He's lived a lot of life. And that is someone I'm interested in getting to know more.
and I will say like a casting like cheat sheet for reality TV competition, love competitions is they cast giants. They do. So for Ace, who is not a tall man, to be casted on this show and to dominate and really be the focal point, you know, shows the strength of his personality, you know, and yeah, he's been a little strategic. He's gotten on our nerves at times by kind of manipulating, you know, the house a little bit. But I mean, most people couldn't pull off what Ace is pulling off because, again, it is very intimidating to, you know, we all know the girlies like the tall guys. That's why they cast tall men, because like in a short period of time, casting people know that like you can have a 6 face, but as long as he's 6'3", he's hot, you know, and he stands out, you know. So for Ace to be able to be such a big personality, you know,
I mean, he doesn't admit that he's short, but yeah.
I know he doesn't admit it, but I'm just saying, like, props to, you know, it just, I think those are things to consider in an environment. Like, this is a social experiment in a closed off environment, and you're seeing all these different dynamics, you know, and you know, like, it's fun to nitpick and break down these scenes, but I think we have to like try to point out some of these people's
And
strengths
just
rather
like
than.
give reminders of giving people grace and realizing we're all humans. And
All right. Well, we will see you tomorrow for a GD you are not going to want to miss. That's all we will say right now. Until then, thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.